Hi, Kim here from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom, astrology, and card reading for January 19th through the 26th, 2021. And it is solstice. We have quite a week ahead of us. I'm pulling cards for everybody because there's a full strawberry moon in Capricorn this week. We also have the solstice. And Jupiter and Neptune are retrograding, and Mercury is going direct, thank goodness. Well, still in its shadow. I did a really good blog breaking down the dates of everything happening this week so that you know, and maybe a little quip here and there of what I feel like the energy is going to be like. So I won't get into all of those details because I want to pull cards for everybody. I'm using a brand new deck. Have not learned the deck at all. So I may need the book a little bit because it's pretty extensive. I thought that it would be much easier than it is, but it's the Shaman's Oracle, and it is by John Matthews and Will Kinghan. And I'm really loving this deck. I'm loving the energy of it. It's so immersive and intense, but at the same time, I think there are too many meetings. I'm just going to have to go with what I'm picking up for each of you. And I do have our goddess of the week, which I think is pretty interesting that she came out. And pardon my nails, I'm in desperate need of a mani and a pedi. And I don't know if it's Mercury retrograde or what, but I went for my appointment and she said, I don't have you in the book. And I said, I booked you when I was here on my last appointment. I watched you write it in the book. So it is what it is. Like, yeah, am I annoyed? A little bit, but Mercury retrograde, especially in Gemini. But our goddess of the week is Lizzie. She is the Chinese goddess of lightning, which is really interesting because Jupiter / Zeus, the lightning bolt, it's revelations. That's what her card says. And so I expect something to come out. I wrote that in my blog before I even recorded this. And it's like an awakening. Something comes to light. You know, we do have the solstice, the full moon, Mercury stationing direct, Jupiter and Neptune going retrograde. So we could take a look at that in the chart. And I did post the chart for the solstice and the full moon in my blog. And what I would do if I were you, not only pay attention to, so for the solstice, where is the sun? Where is the moon? I know the moon will be at 9 degrees Scorpio. It comes in around 11:30 p.m. on June 20th, Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast in the United States. It's also when the sun moves into Cancer. So it's the last days of the Gemini mansion, the Gemini energy. And now we're getting into that watery, nurturing, emotional, moon-based Cancer energy. What else? The full moon will be at 3 degrees Capricorn. So what you want to do is, if you know your chart, if you don't know your time, you can at least kind of figure out where, definitely where your sun is, maybe where your moon is within a few degrees. If it's on the cusp of the sign, it could go either way. Your rising sign is determined by the time and place where you were born, but the majority of your planets will be in the sign that they're in. You just wouldn't know what the houses are. So yeah, for the solstice, You're looking at the Scorpio moon, sun leaving Gemini, entering Cancer. So what do you have in Scorpio? What do you have in Cancer? And then for the full moon, the moon will be at 3 degrees Capricorn. And of course, full moon, the opposite would be the sun, would be at 3 degrees Cancer. So take a look and see, do you have any planets in Cancer? Do you have any planets in Capricorn? Those would be the areas that are most affected. And then, of course, if you have your time, you could figure out what your rising sign is and what houses. And so I'll show you those charts in just a little bit. I also want to make a jubilation announcement that Juneteenth, which is June 19th, has become an official federal holiday here in the United States. Now, a lot of states, 47, I believe, recognize Juneteenth as a holiday. It was the official emancipation of enslaved people, but the emancipation actually occurred on January 1st of 1863. It took until June 2nd of 1865 for Union troops to make it all the way to Texas to let them know that enslaved people were free, the war is over, and then there was this big celebration on June 19th. And that's really sad that it took that long, but you know, times were different. Transportation was different. And what's interesting, the North Node was in Libra at the time, which indicates fairness, balance, and justice. And even today, you know, 156 years later, we're still having issues. And you know what? My first thought was, we're all enslaved because we are kept in debt by ever-rising costs of living and whatnot. Even if you are debt-free, you still have, you know, quite a hefty price tag in order to live. And therefore, you know, we're a slave to the wage. And inflation is increasing faster than our income. And we're going to see a lot of that this summer, with increasing prices of gas and products and food and everything, because as the gas rises, you know, the transportation of that food, also too, supply and demand, a lot of people complaining about lumber and different supplies here in the United States, that a lot of things come from Canada and their borders have been closed for over a year. So, you know, simple logic says if we can't bring our trucks into Canada to pick up certain things, then, you know, the supply starts to dwindle here and therefore the prices go up. So yeah, our goddess of the week, Lizzie. Just a quick excerpt, and then I'm going to pull your cards after I do the crystals of the week. So this alignment message says that there are moments of synchronicity that brings all elements together for a flash of insight to rise up in us in a glorious epiphany. Whatever was not clear becomes crystalline in an instant. It's as if we are able to simultaneously perceive every facet of a diamond. You know, we know without a doubt that we are on the right track. So I'll give you more of that. I'll post that on Facebook and Instagram later in the week, my crystals of the week. So let's see, because it's solstice, I've got some really beautiful mookaite, 2 different kinds. So bring in that sunniness. Some citrine. I was really attracted to this amphibole quartz. There's some citrine and I don't know, maybe some garnet or whatever in there. So I love that. The amphibole quartz. I believe this is yellow calcite or sunstone. Some tiger iron. Because of the full moon, full moon, and then the sun being in Cancer and the solstice, I got some pink peach moonstone, some garnet for grounding. I love this. I love this garnet. And a week or so ago, I talked about finding my lithium, and I could only find that little piece. And I have this big piece of lithium, which I'm going to keep with me because the energies this summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, winter in the Southern Hemisphere, are going to be really intense with so many planets retrograde, but that happens every year. But that Uranus-Saturn square that we just had, the second of 3 this year, and a little bit of that energy will carry into next year. You know, it really is creating tensions. And I feel like with Mercury stationing direct, a lot's going to come out. A lot that maybe we weren't told, that we hadn't heard of. And so, you know, expect some shocking news, not surprising. Let's get into the cards for all of you. All right, so I'm using this Shaman's Oracle. Pay attention to your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign or ascendant. So depending on what your chart says, you will have definitely one card. Mostly everybody knows their sun sign. But if you're lucky enough to know your moon sign and your rising sign, and they could be the same, so maybe you only get one card, but you have the potential for 3. And I'm going to do my best. I may need to read from this book a little bit. All right, so for the Aries suns, risings, and moons, we have Spirit of Family that is coming up. Now, the Spirit cards talk about inspiration, spirit purification, dreams, and resolution. Yeah, this book is broken down into like so many categories that I'm like, it's not like I can just flip to that. So Spirit of Family for the Aries suns, risings, and moons says it's a resolution in time of conflict, seeking the support of family members, relatives lost and found, sense of community, importance of your spiritual family. So I like that. The concept of family was essential to our distant ancestors whose first loyalties were to the survival of the family unit. So possibly expect some things coming up with family related. It could even be your spirit or soul family. It could be dreams of people who have passed that are on the other side. With the way the planetary energies are lining up, expect for all of us, our dreams and intuition to definitely be heightened. All right, so Taurus, suns, risings, and moons. Oh, this is interesting. So the companion is coming up. Now, there are 2 cards in this deck that don't belong to like a single category, because they break the categories down to ancestors, hunters, dancers, shamans, and spirits, which relate to the earth, the rivers, the fires, the winds, and the ice. Can you hear the crazy motorcycles in the background? All right, so the companion card acts as your supportive inner guide. Its associated image is a handprint symbolizing the connection between yourself and the questions that you have. I know that doesn't make sense, but the companion, it says here, I am the companion of your journeying. I set your feet upon the path between the worlds and help you to steer your course to the places where truth may be found. I am both guide and guardian, making sure you do not stray too far from the path or visit those who may be unfriendly or unwilling to help. By remaining at my side, you will find truth and guidance from spirits. Think of me always as your friend, one who shares in your search for truth and walks at your side, wherever the journey may take you. So I really love this. It's an important and powerful ally to the Taurus suns, risings, and moons. Gemini, suns, risings, and moons. We have spirit of destruction. I don't like that too much. The spirit of destruction is, so spirit cards are ice. It is intuition. Resolution. Spirit of family. All right. Sorry. This is not cooperating. Inspiration, spirit, purification, dreams, and resolution. Where is it? I wish they would at least put it maybe in alphabetic order by each section. All right, the spirit of destruction talks about destruction of damaging emotions, freedom leading to calm, anger, frustration, power lost and power regained, annihilation of spiritual blockages, and letting go. So that's really fantastic. Cancer, suns, risings, and moons. You have spirit of initiation. Now, I shuffled these cards really well for over half an hour. So it's interesting how all these are spirit type cards, which do all represent inspiration, spirit purification, our dreams, and resolution. So spirit of initiation speaks of awareness, strength, enlightenment, the gift of vision, the path of transcendence, access to inner wisdom, and welcoming transformation. Leo, suns, risings, and moons. Ooh, little change up. Dancer of fear. All right, so the dancer spirits speak of fire energy, which is perfect for the Leos. It's home, protection, gifts, joy, and transformation. Okay, so let me go to that section, the dancers. Dancers of fear. Okay. The dancer of fear represents stasis, terrors, unwillingness to advance, fear of things, of people, and of the unknown, weakness, paralysis, failure, caution, awareness of risks, and breaking barriers. So, since this connotates a little bit of negativity, let me just say this card's message says, I am the dancer of fear. I teach you when to move forward and when to retreat, how to consider dangers you may be facing, and when to take risks. To master me is to become stronger, yet I can determine everything you do if I am allowed to. When I am with you, you may be afraid to move, but I also protect you from the kinds of risk that can bring you to places of great terror. So I think for that, it's just trusting your inner intuition, your inner guidance, and not being so afraid of taking that leap of faith. That would indicate to me that a lot of Leo suns, risings, and moons, and I am a Leo moon, could be possibly stuck in a fear place. So that's what we're going to work through with the solstice and the full moon. All right, what comes after Leo? Virgo. We have Dancer of Friendship. So I love how now it's going into a different time. Now the dancers, remember, are fire energy. It's home, protection, gifts, joy, and transformation. Okay, so Dancer of Friendship speaks of strength and unity, fellow journeyers, allies, new directions, advice and trust, community, companionship, like-mindedness, and honesty. That's pretty good. Libra, Dancer of Joy. So let's see what that is. The Dancer of Joy for Libra suns, risings, and moons. Delight, awareness, hope, happiness, transformation, lightness of being, incarnation towards light, divine presence, experiencing pleasure, acknowledgement of truth. Scorpio, just like, did I miss any? I think I'm okay. Scorpio, hunter of paths. So this is a different energy. And the hunters are the rivers, and it's water energy, and it's about boundaries, divisions, journeys, fertility, and emotions. Perfect, because the solstice, the moon is at 9 degrees Scorpio, and this is about protecting, putting up a boundary about the path that you're on, the path that you're about to emerge on, what you're putting in the past, putting up a boundary about that, and then protecting what's in front of you and ahead of you. All right, so hunter of paths. Let's see. Hunters. Hunter. Okay, hunter of paths. That energy is finding the way, looking for ways to reach your goals, progressing wisely, being mindful of wrong turnings, discovering shortcuts, making decisions, and discernment. Love it. Coffee break. All right, Sagittarius. I swear I really shuffled these really well. Hunter of Gifts. That I bet is really good. And once again, I'll remind you, it's water energy, it's the rivers, it's boundaries, divisions, journeys, fertility, and emotions. And the Hunter of Gifts talks about inner gifts, recognizing our skills and values, the flowering of imagination, discovering our potential, finding our way, valuing truth, using skills and talents. So that's about finding your inner gifts that already are within you and allowing them to come forward and shine. Capricorn, so the full moon, this is your full moon, Capricorn suns, risings, and moons. And you have spirit of love. So now we're back to the spirits. So that's ice energy, it's ether energy, inspiration, spirit, purification, our dreams, and resolution. Spirit of love. Okay, I'm loving that. Spirit of love. It speaks of love in every aspect, human and divine, transformation, reversal, betrayal, enlightenment, warmth, courage, belief, transcendence, longing, and fulfillment. So it seems as though it's like running the gamut of everything that is love and then everything that isn't love. So I would take this time and discern for yourselves, what does that look like for you? Um, and I want to elaborate on this a little bit because this is the full Capricorn moon. It says, I am the spirit of love. I surround you at every moment of your life and touch every aspect of your being. I can guide you, transform you, turn your life upside down. I permeate everything around you and I enable you to relate more positively, more positively to the life you live, to those you share it with, and the greater force with which you interact. My power is everywhere and transcends everything it touches. Love that. Aquarius, suns, risings, and moons, and the sun's starting to creep around the back. Spirit of truth. I love that because, you know, we are steeped in that Aquarian energy for the next 200 years. Well, 130, then it slides back and then it comes back in. So our focus for the next 2 centuries is Aquarius energy, and it is about finding the truth. Okay, so there it is. Just saw it. Spirit of truth speaks about facing the future with open eyes, responding to challenges with honesty and truth, belief in the truthfulness of others, seeing beyond illusion. That's what this week is all about. And clear-sightedness. Clear-sightedness. So I think that's perfect, imperfect alignment with the energy we have this week. And then last but not least, our Pisces suns, risings, and moons. Jupiter will be going retrograde in Pisces this week, as will Neptune in Pisces, both retrograding. So this will have a big impact on the Pisces. This is Ancestor of Illusion, and it's the only ancestor card that we picked. So the ancestors speak about earth energy. So that would be grounding. It's trial, challenge, manifest power, initiation, and breaking out. Ancestor of Illusion. All right. A lot of activity in the background. Somebody's rushing off to somewhere. I think it's also a sign like, pay attention, everybody. All right. This is presence of false images, distractions, truth that pierces superficiality, return to reality, definitely with Neptune going retrograde, recognizing your true friends and acknowledging the illusions that you have in your life. So because we do have 2 planets retrograding in Pisces this week, this says, I am the ancestor of illusion. I can show you the true nature of those things around us that may appear to be beautiful, but have a darker side hidden behind them. Life has many aspects that seem other than they truly are. My deep insight can uncover the reality behind this surface sheen. I will walk beside you and ensure that you are not led astray by appearances before you reach your true goal or your true resting place. So I think that's really important for all of us because that's kind of what I was picking up with these retrogrades of Jupiter and Neptune. It's going, and the full moon also with Mercury stationing direct all this week, and the solstice. I feel as though like the blinders are coming off. You'll see that I wrote that, I believe, in my blog, that's what I felt like this energy was about. All right, so let's explore real quick the chart for the full moon. And let me, I'm hoping, okay. Sorry about that little, okay. Here we go. So June 24th at around 2:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be the full moon in Capricorn, the full strawberry moon. We have the sun at 3 degrees 27 seconds, the moon at 3 degrees 27 seconds. So Capricorn, the moon will be in the third house, which is Gemini type of energy. It's our siblings, cousins, close relatives. It's our neighbors. It's transportation, technology, communication, education, like elementary education. It's reading, it's books, it's writing, it's journaling. So this is a great time for that. Yeah, it's like our early life. So that's kind of what we're going internally with and exploring. And then with the sun being in the ninth house, it's like that's where we're breaking free. That's where our spiritual beliefs are. This is where religion is held. This is where our freedom is, our freedom to explore the world and to go to different places that are unknown. This is like staying in our realm. This is going out there into the world. So where does Cancer and Capricorn show up in your own personal chart? Because that's where it will have the biggest effect. So third house, ninth house, that's for the collective as a whole. So we'll have that theme for sure. But you know, you want to look and see what it looks like in your own chart. So if I can, and with the sun glare, I'm having a little bit of difficulty. Oh, Libra is the ascendant. So that's what is rising at the time. So I feel as though there's a lot of balance coming into play, justice, fairness. And what's interesting, you know, Capricorn and Cancer played such a huge role over the last, 4 years. And so are we finally coming to that place of the old foundations leading to the new nurturing of ourselves? Is that what's coming into balance and what is coming, into that harmony? And I think that that's going really well with the energy that we had with Uranus and Saturn squaring. And they are still squaring, the orb is moving apart. Saturn is also retrograde. So you'll see Pluto's retrograde, Jupiter retrograde. Oh, but yeah, Jupiter will be retrograde by the 24th. And then Neptune, it'll take a couple days. That will also go retrograde. So what's interesting too, it's like Uranus is in our outer world. It's opening things up for us, making those changes to the things that are in our inner world, the things that we keep behind the scenes. So I'm seeing that. And then we have Chiron, that's just like right on the cusp of the two. So it really says to me, like, go within, see where you can learn more about yourself and bring some things out into light, which you maybe kept buried. They're often related to our early childhood, which is, the things below the horizon. And, don't be so stubborn that you think that everything is fine, because, time and time again, even when I think I clear things, certain things will trigger and bring something back up again so that I could take a look at it. And I'm like, oh, I thought I cleared that. But I don't think we ever really fully clear everything, because you know, traumas and losses, they become part of our cellular memory. However, they don't have to run your life and keep us locked in that place. So we are breaking free. That's what I feel like from there. The South Node is kind of opposing the midheaven and Venus and Mars. And so it's like, I really feel as though, you know, looking into our egos and our hearts, like what can we let go of? What no longer is of value to us? And where are we finding some new value? So, yep, that's about what I'm picking up. You could read the rest of it in my blog because I do break it down. I guess that's all I have for you for this week. I'm going to go swimming and enjoy a beautiful day out in my gardens and with my family. We'll do a little barbecuing. We were supposed to do that yesterday, and just when I started to put things on the grill, it turned into a thunderstorm downpour. So we postponed until today. Gorgeous hawk flying above my head right now. He's looking for his breakfast, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, a wonderful sign to, you know, rise above things, see the bigger picture, take things in from, you know, a 30,000 foot view, however far he's probably, you know, a couple 100 yards up. But, you know, take that big perspective and, you know, see the bigger picture. Don't get so micromanaged into things. That's Virgo energy. We're not there yet. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with your friends. Let me know what you thought of this new shaman deck. I know it kind of sucks that I had to read from the book, but I just cracked it open last night. And, you know, the more I use it, the more I will get used to it. It's just so chock full of information that I really need to study this deck. It's not something that just kind of jumps out at me. So yeah, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, and I'll see you. Happy full moon blessings. Happy solstice. I love all of you, and thank you so much for coming. I hope to hear from you soon.